I tried cheating and respun the Tiny Decisions app. It still came up with the chime. Hello and welcome back to the Midnight Diary channel. My name's Gemma and I'm coming to you as always from my home in Devon, where I live with my husband's son, 2 cats and a dog. So I've got a lot more to talk to you about this week than I did last week. Things have been really productive, and I've been trying a new old thing. I've revisited something that I do to help me when it comes to decision paralysis. So I'll be sharing that with you this week and sharing all the making that's happened as a result. I hope you're well. I know the weather is up the creek around the country. We've been enjoying glorious sunshine. I'm actually almost getting a bit of a suntan. English rose that I am. I don't usually tan. I usually go red and then white again. But yeah, it's nice to have been enjoying some sunshine. But I was on a phone to a friend who lives in London yesterday, and I could just hear the thunder crashing around. I was like, oh my goodness, we had glorious sunshine, and she was in a thunderstorm. So I hope that you are benefiting from some nice weather, or if not, your gardens are benefiting from some rain if you're in the UK. I'd love to know where you all are actually. Who have we got here? Where are you all from? Do let me know in the comments below. So today's episode really is going to focus on kind of beating decision paralysis. I don't know if any of you experience this when you've got some free time and you could do anything you want, anything at all, and you have no idea what to do. And then you sit sort of agonising over whether you're making the right decision or what to do. And then before you know it, an hour of that precious time is gone. And then you're angry with yourself for wasting your time. That's definitely... I thought that was thunder then, but it's just my next door neighbours taking their bin in. Yeah, that's me all the time. And it happened really badly when Little was tiny. He went down for a nap. He went through a phase of not napping very well, but then he went down for a nap. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be washing bottles, doing laundry, if I should rest, if I should knit, what I'm going to do. And I basically just wasted the entire time and ended up completely furious with myself and feeling like an abject failure at being a human being, which is ridiculous. And I know that's a spiral. But the human mind works in very, very interesting ways. So that's today. I'm going to show you, first of all, some finished objects, starting with a quick look at a pair of socks. I'm praying I didn't show this to you last week, because if I did, then things are really awkward, sorry. So I finished my first pair of socks for summer sock camp. Woohoo! It's also my first pair of socks for me in quite some time. So this is Stylecraft Head Over Heels. I've spoken about it a couple of times before. You've seen the kind of brownie pair. This pair, actually, which is also Stylecraft Head Over Heels. You can see they look quite different. You can see all the ends on that one. Yeah, not quite a standard stripe. They're not all even. They're a little bit funky. I'm totally here for that. I think that's great fun. So I finished my first pair. I was very excited. I'm very excited to have another pair for me, and I'm going to find a pretty box and put all the socks I make for myself now away and have some nice new socks when it rolls around to winter. I'm not going to wait till Christmas or the beginning of next year or something like that. I know I'm going to want to wear these come autumn. To be honest, I quite happily wear them now. I think they go with my outfit quite nicely. I'm wearing a skirt, so I'd probably look completely ridiculous, but I'd feel good. Yeah, I did my basic vanilla pattern. I do 64 stitches. And rib, these ones I did 2x2 rib. I quite like a 1x1 twisted rib. I really like the look of those. I can't remember how many rounds I did for the leg. I started off by trying it on and going, yeah, that'll do. And then matched it for the second one. Slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, which is this triangular piece of fabric you create here. You can also get gussets on the shoulders and underarms in certain garments. And then however long I do, again, I don't count for the foot. I put it on, and when it gets to just above, if you imagine that this is the ball of my foot and therefore that's my big toe, but it's obviously, just work with me here. When the yarn just covers the ball of my big toe, that's when I start the toe decreases, and it works every time. It's never ever an issue. So very pleased to have finished those. Of course the ends aren't woven in. What more would you expect? You wouldn't expect anything different from me by now, I hope. Hopefully even our new subscribers who've joined us over the past few months have got the measure of me by now and know we're not going to go for professional finishes here. No, I want to move on to the next, new and shiny. So that's that. My second finished object is Logan's vest, finally. And now I'm just trying to arrange a time to meet up with him and his mummy and actually hand it over to him. We did make an arrangement to go to the beach this coming weekend, Sunday, with the boys and our husbands. Obviously not the dogs, it's not dog friendly at the moment, the beach. There's only one beach near us now that's dog friendly in the summer. It's just a slight downside of being in a real tourist area of Devon. Anyway, I have finished the vest. I've done the seaming, picked up the sleeves and done it all, woven the ends in. It is completely finished, so a higher standard than my socks. There we are. I'm really pleased with this. I think it looks so sweet. I love the kind of speckling it's got. It kind of looks like a pattern, kind of doesn't. It's really pretty. And I really hope that she'll like it for her little boy as well. I love the feel of the finished fabric, but I did a summer yarn review a couple of weeks ago, and I really hate knitting with this particular yarn. It feels like your fingers end up coated in something, at least to me. I mean, I know everyone's different when it comes to sensory issues, but I've definitely found my I don't like this situation with cotton yarn. However, the finished object is so worth it. I would probably buy it and use it again. So this is King Cole Cotton Soft, apparently. King Cole Cotton Soft DK. A cotton, is it pure cotton or cotton and acrylic? Can't remember, I'll put the deets below. But there we are. So there is that. Quick close up. I'm okay with how the stitches have picked up. Cotton can, you can see it a bit there, stretch a bit when you're picking it up. But luckily it kind of tucks itself in under those stitches. I'm pleased with the mattress stitching. I don't think you can really see the seams on this too much. Yeah, so I'm just really happy with it. So yeah, finished object number 2. So that takes me on to works in progress. Now, I have had an absolute mega making moment over the last day and a bit. Make my coffee. I love blue. This is knitting is my therapy from Jude, which is a birthday present from Jude, and I absolutely love it. It's actually still too hot, so I'm going to put it down. So, I had some time on Monday. It's a Mummy Robin day, and I love spending time with my little boy, but he needed a nap, an afternoon nap, and his daddy got him down for the nap. He used his lunch break to settle Robin, and Daddy loves doing nap times and bedtimes and things with Robin, which is great. And to be fair, he's good at it. Robin just seems to want to stay awake when I'm with him. Obviously, I'm the fun parent. So I went and sat in the garden in this glorious sunshine, sorry folks, and I got my chair out and I thought, what do I do? What am I gonna do? I don't know what to work on. I don't know what I should work on. And I knew I was headed down the road of wasting my precious time. So I downloaded an app called the Tiny Decisions app, and I cannot for the life of me remember who it was that told me about this. It was someone lovely anyway, who mentioned the Tiny Decisions app. We're going back years now. I've used random name generators before, but this Tiny Decisions app is the same sort of thing. So you plug in your own, what you want it to be, and then you spin the spinner, and what it tells you to do, you do. And I decided to say, I'm going to do this in 20-minute increments. So I'm going to spin the spinner, and whatever it lands on and tells me I'm going to work on, I'm going to work on for 20 minutes. And that is what's ended up with this massive amount of progress that I've done. I did most of it yesterday. I haven't done an awful lot of making today. I was actually quite poorly in the night. I should be at work. I should be at preschool today. But I was poorly to the point that actually you have to kind of follow the policy of not being near children or food for 48 hours. So I couldn't go into my preschool because that's a childcare setting. and I can't go into work tomorrow at the cafe because obviously I'm handling food. So the policy is 48 hours. And so I found myself with a bit of free time. I've done a little bit of making this morning, but I've spent a lot of time sorting out my teacher training application. There's been some issues with the admin side of that, so I've been dealing with that. And we're all sorted now. I'm not going to bore you with it, but either way. Anyway, I sat on the deck and I said, what am I going to work on? And it said to me, you're going to work on your peanut vest. So let me show you the peanut vest. Ta-da! And there's nothing much to show. Well, actually, there's a fair bit of knitting here to show. And this is the Peanut Vest by Tin Can Knits. So what happened was I finished sewing in the ends when I was sat in Robin's bedroom, and he was playing trains and I was knitting, and we were chatting and playing together, and I was just sewing in the ends of the Logan vest, as I call it, the Logan vest now. And I laid it out for a picture on his bedroom floor so I could upload my picture to Ravelry, to my projects pages, because a lot of my projects at the moment are just grey squares and it looks very uninspiring. And Robin saw it and he went, Robin, wear it, Robin, wear it. I said, no, this isn't for you, Robin. This is for cousin Logan. No, this isn't for you. Oh, Robin wear one. Mama, make Robin one. I'm like, oh. It's like the first time he's actively asked me to make him something. I was like, okay. I said, yeah, let's choose some yarn. I'll make you a vest. Okay, come on, Mama, come on. And he took my hand and he led the way out of his bedroom into my bedroom, and he looked at the stash boxes and went, here's Mama's yarn. I was like, oh my gosh. You know, show me your yarn, baby. Growing up with a yarniac for a mother. Anyway, I'm very grateful that he's not got strong enough opinions yet to be diverted by all the wonderful yarns I've got in my stash. And when I showed him the yarn I was planning on using, he went, yeah, okay, thanks, Mama. I'm like, oh, all right then. Which is, if I find the ball, I've shown you this previously. Oh, it's still got the ball band around it. That's nothing short of a miracle. Which is a James C. Brett Stonewash DK. You can see the amount I paid for it on there. It was £3.90. And this I bought from the Wells Knitting Centre, one of my clients that I was visiting in Somerset. And I was buying yarn for the cable baby jumper, the one I'm doing for my niece, having done it for my friend. And I saw this and just couldn't resist it. I thought it was so lovely, and it reminded me a lot of, I don't know what the make is, but it reminded me a lot of this jumper that my mum knit for Robin when he was a baby. He wore it quite a lot. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it up. But actually, I really like the colours, and it's definitely not the same yarn. This feels completely different. This is 100% acrylic. I really like the colours, and I thought that'll do. So I bought 2 balls, which should be enough to do a vest for my son and for his cousin Jessie, who's my brother's and sister-in-law's little boy. And they're having a little girl. So I wanted to do something for the little girl, but also do something for the big brother to, you know, help him feel included. So yeah, having done the Logan vest, there was no way I was going to knit a pieced pattern again. I don't know what possessed me to. The frustration though for me was that I've misplaced my copy. I had a single paper copy of the Peanut Vest. I know it's a great vest, it's Tin Can Knits, it's a fantastic pattern. It's designed to have colour work across the tummy. I'm not doing that. Jude actually knit one for Robin when he was tiny that he has sadly grown out of, and it looked gorgeous. Again, no colour work, so there's a variegated yarn. So I thought that is what I'm going to do. So here we are. I cast it on immediately. He asked for it, so I think I cast it on Sunday. It might have been Saturday night, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter anyway, does it? Done the 2 inches of rib, and I'm working up the body now. I did have a bit of a moment. The instructions said knit until it measures 4.5 inches from cast on, and I got to 4.5 inches. I thought, that is so small. That's going to be like a tank top on him. I don't understand. I'm going to knit it a bit longer. So I got to 5 inches, and then I looked at the pattern again and I was like, oh, Gemma, you donut. What had I done? Not remembered that there's colour work. So of course, when it says knit until it's 4.5 inches for the size I'm doing, it means knit until it's 4.5 inches, because then you're going to do the colour work and you're going to knit another few inches incorporating the colour work before you get to the divide for front and back and the sleeves and the neck and all the rest of it. So I looked at it and I thought, oh, Gemmy, you donut. And on the one hand, it's like, oh, I've got lots more round and round knitting to do. On the other hand, it's like, oh, this is definitely going to fit. So I'm about 5.5 inches in, I think. Again, I've been working on this yesterday and a little bit today in 20-minute increments, and it has grown quite a lot. I so prefer knitting in the round to knitting pieced. Yes, I find mattress stitch very therapeutic almost now. It's almost a little bit like magic, but there's nothing quite like knitting in the round and not having to sew up afterwards. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I mean, it could be anything at the moment, couldn't it? It could be a hat, it could be a cowl, but it will be a vest. Next time you see it, it will look a lot more vest-like. I'm not going to say it's going to be finished. I've got a few bits on this week that I need to deal with. I'm teaching at Wool on the X this weekend. I didn't get to last time, unfortunately. My son was very ill, and we only have one car now as a family. We've downsized to one car, which is perfect for us in our lifestyle. But I did not want to be 20 odd miles away if we had to rush him to hospital. And we'd been on the phone to 111 the day before, and it was just a thing. So unfortunately, I had to postpone that course, but I'm doing my top down in the round sweater course this coming Saturday, and of course it's Father's Day this weekend. In fact, that's what I was talking about earlier with the Logan vest. I realised I never actually finished my sentence. We provisionally sorted out a play date at the beach for this Sunday, both of us forgetting it was actually Father's Day this Sunday, and that would not be the way my husband would want to celebrate. So I don't know when we're going to hand it over, but we will at some point. Anyway, back to this one, which is not the Logan vest. I'm just thrilled. It's plain stocking stitch. It's going quite fast in the fact that this is the front and back done at the same time. So as I was saying, occasionally my camera the viewfinder doesn't match up with what I'm doing. There's almost a delay. So it's a bit off-putting. So stop the recording, started again. So yeah, that's it. It's going quite a lot faster because it's in the round, and Tiny Decisions has helped. So my next work in progress is another new cast on that you hadn't seen before, and it is a double knitting weight sock for me. This yarn was hanging out in my yarn basket for spring, and having finished my 4-ply heart and soul self-striping socks, I wanted to use my Midl'o'Lidl yarn. This is yarn I got from the Midl'o'Lidl, and it's DK weight. And again, I've decided to make these for me. I really do need to take care of my own sock drawer now before worrying about too many other people. I love knitting socks for other people, people who are knit worthy anyway. But yeah, I do just need to have some more socks for me. So I cast these on. I think it might have been Sunday I cast these on, maybe even Monday. I'm not entirely sure. No, probably Sunday morning. And I've got all this much done. I did the entirety of the heel flap, heel turn, and what I've done so far of the gusset in 20-minute sessions, thanks to Tiny Decisions. So it's quite nice. I don't remove an option from the wheel once I've spun it. So in theory, I could get the same thing up again. I could end up spending a whole hour, in 3 20-minute consecutive blocks working on the same project. That hasn't happened yet. I've had quite a lot of variety, but I have had DK socks, peanut vest, DK socks, other project you're going to see. And so I've had DK socks 3 times yesterday. Haven't had them yet this morning. And I'm really pleased with the progress I've made on them. They're definitely rustic. This yarn is definitely more rustic than I'm used to for sock yarn with my spoiled feet, but I think they're just going to be so cozy. I'm using 3.5mm needles, 48 stitch cast on, and then I'm just, again, sort of try it on as you go. The heel, I wasn't too sure how to go about doing it, because with the way you turn the heel, you end up with only a couple of stitches in the middle. And I wasn't sure about that, but actually I don't think it's too narrow. I think that will fit nicely. There we go. I really like the fun striping pattern. So this comes with 2 50-gram balls. So there's another one. Hang on. Oops-a-days. I think it's 2 50-gram. So 75% new wool for comfortably warm feet, non-felting. So new wool is kind of like lamb's wool type thing, I think, just like a little bit rougher. Doesn't tell me how much it comes with. Isn't that interesting? Oh, 2 times 75 grams each. So slightly more than 100 grams. 275, 150 grams in total. And it makes 1 pair of socks. So it's 400 meters. You get quite a lot out of this. I will probably get socks for my son out of this as well. Maybe a second pair for me because I only like them quite short. So yeah, that's the yarn I'm talking about. They did it in the Midl'o'Lidl last October. So it's quite fun to get these knit up. And DK weight socks are really fast. And I didn't really want to cast on another pair of 4-ply socks because I've got so many 4-ply socks on the go. But at the same time, I needed something vanilla. And so I went for this. Plus, I'm trying to finish emptying my spring basket so that I can update it for summer. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I've also managed to do a little bit of work on my mum's sock because I found the off-cut bit of yarn. I've stopped in the middle of a round. I found the off-cut bit of yarn from when I recorded a demonstration piece for the 52 Weeks of Socks group. I used this yarn, wound off some from the ball and used it to knit kind of a bit of a leg and to demonstrate the heel turn for the socks that we were doing because they were a little bit complicated. Anyway, I unravelled that and promptly lost it. So I worked ground to a halt on my mum's sock, but I found it again. So I've had so far one 20-minute session working on that. So I have now finished the gusset decreases and I'm starting on the foot. I'm still not going to have enough to finish the foot. I've only got, let's see. I've only got that much left. That is not going to be enough to finish the foot. I will need my mum to send me her other sock back so I can unravel it and use it again. But I might be able to get socks for Robin out of it after that, which would be quite good. So there's that one. And then my EPP, I've also done some more too, but I'm not going to show that because again, it's nothing new to what I've shown you before, and I am very close to having it all done ready for my EPP video. So there will be a whole video dedicated to the making of this English paper piecing project. English paper piecing, if you're not familiar, it's a kind of quilting technique. You cut out template shapes, in my case hexagons, you wrap your fabric around your hexagon, baste it into place, and then you sew them together using whip stitch into your panel for whatever it is you're making. In my case, I'm making a hot water bottle cover by So Sweet Violet, and we're going to ignore the fact that it is coming up for 6 months late. I had hoped to get it done for this lady's birthday because she just turned 60 on the 1st of June. I thought that's a great deadline. We'll do it for then. Missed that one as well. She can't use it in summer, in my defence. But there we are. So the last thing I've got to show you today is on my spinny wheel of goodness, I also put a new cast on. Just because why not? I wanted that on there. And yesterday when I was sat in the sunshine, it sure enough, having done some work on my peanut vest and my DK socks, it went new cast on. And I looked at the pattern I've chosen to do for my niece and considered whether or not to cast that on. I was just looking for the pattern just then, but I can't find it. I looked at the pattern that I was thinking about making for my niece and considered casting it on, but I don't have 2 3/4mm needles. Can't find them anywhere. And I didn't really want to swatch and spend my time swatching. So I thought, well, new cast on, that could be anything, right? And I'm doing the 100-day project, or I was hoping to, with Cross Stitch, but that ground to a halt because I've lost the pattern for the main project I was hoping to work on. So anyway, long story sideways, I've started this. This was my new cast on, a piece of Cross Stitch. It's Percy from Thomas the Tank Engine, or Thomas and Friends as he's now known. And it's a lovely cross stitch from DMC. It doesn't say the name of the magazine on this. It just says DMC Cross Stitch Favourites. And it's the design for October, it says on the back. So it's either part of a calendar, or it's one favourites pattern a month for however many months you buy this magazine. I don't know. But I don't have any information on it. I don't have information about the size of Ada needed or about the colours needed. I've got the chart, obviously, and I've got the picture, but I don't have the numbers that symbols correspond to. But that's fine because I don't really want to be buying anything. I don't have the budget to buy anything anymore, not in our new lifestyle. And that's fine. I'm not exactly going to be going without. I have got a very healthy stash. So yeah, I went up to my room and found my box of threads. Hilariously came from my aunt, who is now back into cross stitch in a big way. If you're watching So Sweet Samuel, she's actually started floss tubes as well as your kind of general... Where's all the threads gone? Aha. As well as your general kind of crafting. So I think she's regretting giving me them a bit. So it's only fair that I make good use of them. So yeah, I've just started because I wanted to get started quickly. And as it happened, I only got as far as gathering the materials before Robin woke up from his nap. I didn't waste time sourcing all the colours. I looked at the middle of the chart because the way I do cross stitch, some people do it differently. But the way I do cross stitch is I find the middle of the chart, because it's like a grid, find the middle of the chart and work out or work off in sections as is logical from the pattern. And this one isn't like confetti, it's blocks of colour. So I looked at that and I thought, right, I need the dark green, the medium green, the light green and the red. Fine. So I whizzed upstairs and managed to source some colours. The dark green and the medium green are pretty much bang on. No, the dark green and the light green pretty much bang on. The medium green is a little bit more limey, but I think I'll get away with it. I really don't want to buy any more floss. And that's the red that I've chosen at the moment. I've got a few more colours to source, but that's not too bad. So this is 2 20-minute sessions. It's come up for me twice, this one. Once yesterday, so that'd be day 1, my 100-day project, or day 2, because day 1 was set up. And once today so far. So this is my kind of day 3 of the 100-day project progress so far. And I think that's everything I've got to show you. I'm feeling really energized by crafting in this way. I've done it before. I used to use the Tiny Decisions app all the time, years ago especially. But it's been a while since I've done it, and I just thought I was going to be in that decision paralysis situation again yesterday, and I've ended up being so much more productive by doing the 20-minute blocks. And I was able to continue doing it after Robbie woke up from his nap. And in the evening I did it as well when we were watching things. And the variety's been great. There's only one project that hasn't come up yet in the 20 minutes. And it has just come up before I ended up taking phone calls this morning. And that's the Chime baby sweater. There's absolutely no point me showing you that because it hasn't got any further from the last time I showed it to you, which is when I just had to rip it back. I've started working back and I'm so glad I have, but I'm now going to be at the point where I need to start thinking about the raglan decreases and hoping and praying it works. So I'm going to be a very good girl, and I'm not going to spin the spinner again, as tempting as it is, because I don't really want to work on it. I'm going to actually be a good girl and get it done, and hopefully I'll make that by the deadline that I've got of the beginning of July. I've got a month, just under a month to do this project. But yeah, how do you cope when you've got decision paralysis? Do you suffer from decision paralysis? Or, you know, because the other thing that happens as well, if you don't make a decision and get on with it, is I find it's too easy to get sucked into like doom scrolling, as they call it, I think. And just mindlessly reading things on the internet or watching things on the internet and not really doing anything with your time. And it was so nice as well to get outside and sit on the deck in the sunshine. It's a little bit grey and blustery today, so I won't be doing that. So I'm not feeling well either. I'm going to just sit on the sofa with my cup of coffee and carry on making. So yeah, that's how I deal with decision paralysis anyway. How do you choose what you're going to work on? Are you a one project at a time sort of person? Can I just remind everyone as well, this is a judgment-free zone. Everyone works differently, and that's a beautiful thing. So no judgment here, please, anyone, to each other in the comments. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you because hubby's going to be back with Robin in a moment. He's having to do the nursery pickup because obviously I'm not allowed to go near in case I make anyone poorly. And I'm going to sit and finish my 20 minutes on my EPP, which, to be fair, I hadn't really even started because the phone rang and I needed to deal with things. And then I'll get on with the Chime sweater. So I'll see you next week for more making. Have a lovely week. Take care of yourselves. Bye. I tried cheating and respun the Tiny Decisions app. It still came up with the chime.